Let us stream to the internet that doesn't care about us.
Stream to the World Wide Web.
The web. The
Yep.
intergrid. The world intergrid.
Yes.
How's everyone doing this evening?
Good.
Good. I'm getting thirsty.
Getting thirsty?
Busy
Oh,
day.
well then.
Yeah, wait to
Same.
crack this one.
We should probably get going here. Hello
Yeah.
and welcome to the Couch Co-op. The Couch Co-op show, I believe. It's just like the other, it's like the video game one, but hops instead of ops.
Yes.
You can find us on couch_hop on Twitter. You can also find us on anchor.fm, the Couch Co-op show. Hey guys, we're up to 25 cents we've made.
Wow.
Oh man, we're rich.
We're
A
rich.
We can
quarter.
afford the deposit of like two
Nice.
bottles. Awesome.
Right.
Pretty
Anyway.
sweet.
Basically what that
Yeah,
means is
I
we
know,
need
right?
more people to start, subscribing and listening. We really need to get it out there. So, keep pushing it.
All right. right.
But yeah, hey,
That's
we're the
fair.
Couch Co-op show. I'm Ian, and I'm joined with Jared,
Hi there.
Dave,
Hello.
and Aaron.
Hi, everybody.
And this week is my turn. I get to choose which beer. Woohoo! And so I
Yeah.
went with my
Woohoo.
favorite beer of all time. So you know where I'm going to go on this one.
Stella.
But Stella. Stella
Oh, I
Artois.
think I go with Obsidian.
With the trumpet. And for those people listening, you've got to tell them a little. You didn't just go with the bottle of Stella. What else came with said
Oh
bottle?
yeah, so I gave everyone. I have like a shit ton of these glasses. Actually, I have a shit ton of these glasses, and then I have a special one that I don't know if you can tell. Maybe, but it has Milkman etched on the back of this personal one.
That's cool.
I
Oh,
also
wow,
have.
that's cool.
I also have the bigger one. What is the bigger one
Yeah,
amount? I have one.
It's like
like it takes like 3 beers almost, 2.5.
yeah, it's like a liter
Yeah,
beer
it's
one. I know what you're talking about. I've seen them.
I'm a huge fan of this beer, so I'm just gonna be glowing the entire time. But I'm sure the other guys will have more different opinions. But I forgot to open the website to Stella Artois and read about it. Do you guys know anything about Stella?
I do not.
It's one of the oldest
Been
lagers
brewed
out
since
there. Right?
1366.
From
It's an old
Belgium?
That's all I know.
It's an old Belgian beer, and it's actually one of the. It's one of the most. I have a long history with it. Back when I was first starting drinking, it was whenever you went to the bar, if you wanted lager, you could either have Heineken or Foster's, sometimes 4X was the cheap version that was like 3.5%, 4%. And then they usually had an export beer, which Stella Artois was the one. And they seemed to corner the market in the UK for the longest time because they were like 5.2. And so it was always kind of upmarket beer. It had that reputation. In college, you would drink Stella if it was a good price, but sometimes you would just drink Foster's if you were broke.
And it's good that we're drinking it today because the bottle says it's freshest before April 12th of
It was
2021.
funny.
Today.
I already drank my version from that pack, so mine's fresher for
Oh.
longer. But
Yeah,
Dave
mine
was
says we've
pointing
got
it out.
till 9:40, which is about 2.5 hours, isn't it?
So let's pop them,
And then
boys.
it goes skunky.
Let's pop them.
Oh shoot!
You guys ready?
Almost. There we go.
Not sure I like this paper.
2, 1,
Jazz
pop.
on the
Oh,
top.
yeah. You know what? That is true. I will say the one thing
That's one thing that does bother
the one
me.
thing I do not enjoy about the beer is the paper wrap.
No, but that gives it its uniqueness.
But at the same time, if I'm drinking it out of a glass, then it
So
doesn't
do you
really
often
matter.
drink it out of the glass? Because
I do.
So one thing I really approve of here, Ian, is you have the correct glass for the Stella. Because Belgian beer, I once went to Brussels.
Yeah, they're very picky.
And I was drinking beers there and selecting the various beers. And every one you ordered came in a different glass that was just for that one beer in the place.
Cheers, gentlemen.
Yeah, they're very picky
Cheers.
with how they do it. Cheers.
Oh, that-
Well,
Ooh,
I
nice.
don't usually drink it out of the smaller one. I usually drink it out of the bigger one because I can pour 2 into it and then just go and hang out.
It's a fine line, isn't it, as well as like how much you pour in, because you don't want it to get warm.
Right.
Well, this
You
is
know.
But you don't want to have not enough.
it's an
So
easy
first
drinking
off,
beer.
I'm not a huge fan of the skunky smell. I'm
It is a
not a
skunky
big
beer.
fan of that style. And
It's
it's
a wee bit
very
skunky.
very potent. Yeah.
It is one of those
It
things.
definitely has a personality.
Well, it's also like
Yeah.
those kind of Belgian or kind of those kind of Eastern lagers have that skunk, and I really like. I understand that a lot of people don't
Well,
like
that's good.
Heineken's like crazy skunky. I love Heineken, and this is a
Oh,
lighter than Heineken, and I like that skunky beer. I don't know. I get that people don't, but it's kind of something I've always
well,
just loved.
To me, this is just what a lager. This is like what a lager tastes like. Like I say,
yeah.
I've drank a lot
It
of it
tastes
in my
like
time,
beer.
but
It tastes like
it's got flavor. I mean, compared to like an American lager or an American light lager, it's a very distinct, in-your-face flavor. It's not a soft
The
flavor.
the first
yeah. No,
drink I took wasn't quite as pleasant as any drink afterwards once my tongue was coated. The following drinks probably till the end will be pretty good. But I don't
yeah.
know. I'm not huge on this style of beer, but
Yeah,
this one
that
definitely
smell just
compared to
reminds me of being in
Heineken
the pub.
So
is this is the premier edition compared to Heineken.
Well, kind
I
of like.
will say
Oh, go
this.
ahead, Aaron.
I'll say this. I'm glad they have a specific glass whiskey. I don't know if I could have it in a pint glass, because that'd be. I feel like it'd make it taste funny because I know with certain beers you have to drink out of certain glasses, otherwise it just.
I
No,
think
it's actually
That's a
it's a
child.
fact
You're a
actually.
child.
I think this glass was developed
Accurate
for
though. Accurate.
the head because I noticed as the foam tapered up to the top, the bubbles really just kind of simmered down. I think that's the biggest part
I
of the
believe
glass
also the
shape.
glass that goes like this helps concentrate the aromas, which gives it more,
Okay, so I have a question. So I'm reading the internet here, and on Wikipedia and everything. They're actually like Wikipedia is actually classifying it as a pilsner, yet on the bottle it says it's a lager. What is the difference, and is there really a difference?
Uh,
there is a difference. I
yeah.
believe Pilsners were, it's more of like a regional style though. It'd be the equivalent of saying like Northeast Hazy IPA versus a West Coast IPA. They're both IPAs, but
Yeah.
they are different.
But is a pilsner the overarching to the lager, or is the lager overarching to a pil? Like I don't understand which is the sub.
Lager is the lager is the overarching style because you got all sorts of stuff in like lagers. I
Yeah.
think
Pilsner is Pilsner.
Because
I
this
need
is
to read
obviously
more of my beer history.
fairly similar to like Pilsner Urquell, or something like that.
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
I've always like, what, it's just a regional thing. Like, it's like champagne
Lager
versus
is
sparkling.
a process.
Okay.
So lager is like, to lager something is when it's finished fermenting, traditionally you'd put it in a cave that was a lower temperature, which again lets everything settle out. And that's what gives it the very clear, and then it's a specific type of yeast. It's a different type of yeast to ales.
So
the whole top versus bottom fermentation. So
I'll read this paragraph from homebrewadvice.com. It says, a Pilsner is actually a type of lager originating from the Czech Republic. Main difference between the two is the more aggressive use of hops in Pilsners and the difference in yeast used. That means a Pilsner is really just a spicier and more hop-flavored lager.
And it uses Saz hops. So is it the hops that give it the skunkiness?
It's again, it's the more aggressive use of the hops.
It some bitterness.
It's
it has Saz hops, malted barley, maize, yeast, and water. So maize is corn, right?
Yes.
Mm-hmm. Yep. It's more, a lot of the flavor in lagers comes from the yeasts as well. So, like the hops will give you some flavor, but the yeasts impart quite a lot of flavor, and then the lagering process.
I could see the yeast being a huge difference in that, just the different strains they can use.
So
delicious.
So, it's currently owned or distributed by Anheuser-Busch. I swear it was previously owned by Heineken, but I can't seem to find that anywhere. Because I swear I watched a documentary about Heineken, and Stella was one of their beers, but I guess I could be wrong with that.
Well, distribution is different than ownership because it's like
That's true.
Yeah, yeah, because I remember working at Columbia that we had opportunity to distribute certain beers, but the ownership of the distribution rights goes with the different company entirely. Like we could have had Elysian first, but Melitus got it to them, and then we bought
Well,
it back, and they bought it back from them again.
another good example is when I worked for the Budweiser distributor in Oregon City back in the day. I think back then Budweiser owned like more than half of Corona, but a different
Yes,
distributor distributed it.
Columbia did it, and then they tried to buy all the rights, and it was like a weird distribution rights trust or something like that, and they broke some sort of law, and they had to withdraw, and now it's still Columbia's distribution, even though they do own some of the rights in other parts of Portland
So I
or
feel
other areas.
Distribution is weird. It's all contractual based, whereas like wines can go from vendor to vendor in month to month basis. So I swear they just like hop around.
so
Yeah,
reading the Wikipedia, the anno 1366 I think is a little bit deceiving, because reading the Wikipedia, it sounds like the brewery that ultimately founded this beer was started in 1366.
Yep.
But they
Oh.
bought it, and then the brewery in 1707 was renamed, and then they didn't really launch this beer until 1926. So maybe there was a version of this beer, but I don't think this beer is actually
Interesting.
in
Yeah.
1366. I think they're just the brewery Artois
yeah,
is like really fucking old. I mean,
Yeah.
Artois does make other things,
Yeah.
some other beers and some ciders, but I don't
yeah.
Are they available in the United States?
Yeah.
currently. Yeah,
So-
no, the
it's like
Midnight
called
Lager,
Cedra, I think is
and
what
then
it's called.
the
Yeah.
cider's been available. You can find it around the town. It's sometimes hard
Everywhere.
to find, but it's
Okay, and
you can
didn't-
find it.
The cider I remember, I think I first saw about 10 years ago in the UK when I was on the way home.
Oh, okay,
And
so it's
then
been
I've
around
seen
for a
a couple
while.
of-
Yeah, it's been around.
It has been
Isn't-
around for a while,
Yeah.
but they've definitely
I just
pushed it a lot more because I've seen it here
Yeah.
for the last 5 years or so.
Oh, I've
Isn't
seen
there
I've seen it
a Stella
around.
Dark or
Yeah,
something
it's
like
out.
that?
Yeah, I think it was limited edition, but yeah, they were pushing it pretty hard at my Safeway.
They
I
also
had
had
that.
they also have a golden one too. It's like a solstice lager
It was
as
like
well.
a summer
comes around.
seasonal that they had. It was
Huh.
all right.
Yeah, the summer solstice one.
But
like a-
Yeah, I think a lot of breweries are doing that now, aren't they? They're using the brand name of the main beer and doing a summer version or a
so this is
seasonal.
a funny thing about on how I got into Stella. So we've been friends for a very long time, and I think I met Aaron around the same time I met my wife, Bryn, around the
Yeah.
same time. So I had never drank Stella until I met Bryn, and it was someone posted a stupid. Back then, Facebook was huge. Now Facebook is stupid and just full of shit posters. But back then, it was like this
Yeah.
thing that you did, and someone shared this stupid thing, like a quiz. Figure out what beer is you. What beer is you?
Oh, I
Yeah.
remember that one.
And I did it, and Stella was my beer, and I was like, whatever. I've never had. At that point, Stella was, like Dave was saying, it was expensive. No one had purchased it and like making distribution easy. It was like an expense. It was like $22, $24 a case. It's like, I'm never gonna buy that. Why would I?
They've always been a premium. Like it's
Yeah.
always priced itself like
Yeah.
a premium.
Yeah, crazy
I think
expensive.
that's why they get the stupid paper labels here.
So then I did buy a 6-pack or something and drank it. I was like, oh, this is fine. This is good beer. And but it was never something that I was still drinking Heineken and other things. I was drinking all kinds of beer, but Stella was just too expensive for me. I don't know. At some point, Heineken took over, and then, but like the price drastically decreased. Like when Corona goes on sale, like for like $14.99, Stella's usually on sale for $14.99, and that's like that's like almost half the price of what it was usually. So it's like I started buying it more and more, and I just kind of fell in love with it. And then on top of that, as Bryn and I started traveling around the world, it's a beer that is everywhere. And
Oh,
so
yeah.
like you get it on tap. I get all, and it's a beer that I just find like it feels like home, even though the beer's not from where I'm from. It's from somewhere else. So it's a
Right,
beer that
right.
I love. So I've just come to love so much, and it's funny. Sometimes it's like skunky and And then other times, like on a sunny day, it's just like drinking. It's so refreshing. It's just a funny beer to me sometimes. I love it, and I can drink
is
a
an easy
12
drinker.
pack. I can drink a 12 pack like
Yeah.
nothing.
Yeah, I'm almost gone with the one bottle.
Yeah,
Almost
so
gone already.
5% alcohol by volume.
Well, it's a funny thing on Wikipedia. It says it depends really. It can be anywhere
Yeah.
between 4.6 and 5.2.
I was going to say, I
it's
remember it being 5.2 in the
Just
UK
be the
for some
bottle.
reason.
yeah, and I think it fluctuates. It's just they don't.
I think it also depends on the tax code because sometimes there's a break in the taxes at certain alcohol levels.
Well, there's also if it's a certain amount, they have to label it on the bottle. If it's below a certain point, they don't. That's discretionary, but generally, if it's above a certain percentage, they have to say somewhere, whether it's on the bottle itself or on the packaging of the case or whatever. But
So
that's
when I was in college, you used to be able to get it. I remember you used to pay like about £15, and you get 24 20-ounce pint cans of this stuff, and that's probably about $20 now. But that was in the late '90s, so. But you get a crate of it, 24 big cans, and that was the way to go.
Isn't it weird now though that like premium beers like this, I guess you would call this a premium beer, is like not really premium anymore because premium beers are now all these kind of craft ales and IP, all the like the whole premium beer thing is kind of like this. I don't know.
It's like music.
Yeah, I mean,
it's hard to
in the
catalog
UK when I was
everything.
in college, you had the lagers you had on tap would be Foster's 4X, Heineken Export, which was like the stronger version, the like Stella version of Heineken, and then you'd have Stella and maybe like Amstel or one other kind of lager, but that would be the only lagers you'd ever see really. Every so often you get some Dutch one or whatever, but you could pretty much guarantee you either had, and sometimes you get Labatt's.
Yeah, I go with Molson. I go with
Depends
Molson
on what
in
you
that
were
case.
drinking. Yeah, it depended on where you were drinking. Yeah, actually, they tried launching Molson.
Molson.
That was popular for a while in the '90s, but
Oh, what's the actual good one though? Canadian, not
There's
Kokanee.
Labatt's, there's
Kokanee.
Molson.
I love
Kokanee.
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 I don't think I don't remember ever having.
I haven't had
Kokanee.
really Canadian beer before, honestly.
But yeah, this beer when lagers first became, my dad says when lagers first became a thing in the UK in the '70s, it was Stella and Heineken were the like two, and then in the '80s you got some Australian stuff and a few more, but Stella's pretty much was the first one to kind of mass or popularize lager, because before then most British people didn't drink lager, they drank bitter and ales. So
interesting. That's very interesting. Now, I mean, over here, obviously, it's such a crowded lager market. You have all the Mexican lagers like Corona and Modelo.
Yeah, it kind of makes sense that they go up market here in some respects, just because it's a pretty crowded market and has been for many years. It seems like.
Mm-hmm.
Mentioning Modelo, I will say this: I think the paper's easier to deal with than the goddamn foil.
Gosh, yeah.
The foil is.
I wish they just ditch all of it. Cause, the other thing you don't see over here is we go to trips to the continent, and you'd bring back a case of beer because the taxes were a lot cheaper in France, or on the ferry you get duty free, so you won't pay any of the tax. But in the case you get like these little 250cc bottles, and you get those of Stella. They were like little stubby bottles, and those were great because you could just sit there and like chug them all afternoon.
Well, they do have a. They still have the tiny. You can still get the tiny stubby bottles here. I bought like a 12-pack, and it was like all the smaller end bottles, and then I also bought a 12-pack of cans once. So they have been trying different versions.
Yeah,
of it.
I have seen it in cans. I've seen the Fin Boy cans, but
I've seen it. Yeah, everything.
And then I've seen it in the big. They have it in the big like gas
the
station
tall boys
stock.
over there.
No, like bottle.
Oh yeah,
like the Corona type 20-ounce bottle. They have that.
When I was younger and more responsible, I went to a baptism at the Catholic Church, and so it's Sunday morning, and it's we go do that, and then afterwards they have a reception at the Catholic club, and I had about I think three 20-ounce pints of Stella with like the reception and lunch, and then I was on work at the call center at like 2:00, and I was I don't know how I managed
That
to get
sounds
away with
fun.
it. Oh yeah, it was fun
Yeah.
for about the first hour, and then you start sobering up, and the head starts banging, and you're just like, oh.
I worked in a call center once, and now I'm thinking about it. Like, man, that would have been a fun job being drunk.
Yeah, I could definitely.
Okay, I do have. Okay, finally found something to read about. Stella Artois lager. On the website, it calls it a lager. Where the Wikipedia calls it a pilsner. I don't know. All right, with its wonderful floral aroma, well-balanced malt sweetness, crisp hop bitterness, and a soft, dry finish, Stella Artois is the perfect beer to pair with food and friends. Winner of the 2019 World Beer Award for World's Best International Lager, 5% alcohol, 141 calories, 0.9 carbs, and 0 grams of sugar. Oh, that's cool. I didn't realize it had no sugar in it.
Had no sugar?
Yeah, it's,
Huh,
yeah,
yeah,
I think that's
sure.
pretty common for a lot of beers, isn't it? Because
That's true.
Oh, I feel like
They,
hazes and IPAs have a shit ton of sugar, man. I drink those
Yeah.
and my teeth are ringing the next day.
Oh, really?
most of the sugar from those
Huh.
most of the sugar from your beer though gets fermented out.
Yeah, but I know when I like Wednesday night last Wednesday we drank a lot of beer. It was what was it? What did we drink a lot of? Oh, I drank a bunch of RPM from Boneyard.
Oh.
And I drank some other stuff, and like my teeth, I didn't.
That might be the hops, not the
And
sugar.
but they were just, well,
Oh.
I just feel like the
Alcohol
sugar gets
comes
in
be-
there, and I drink some other beers, I don't get that shit, but that was just like, whoa.
Right.
Well, I think RPM is pretty sweet though. Anyway, that's my opinion.
Yeah.
We're not talking about RPM. We should do Boneyard. Anyway, we should do Boneyard at some point.
Yeah.
But anyway, Jared, let's start with you. What do you think of the beer?
Oh, it started off unfavorable, but as I drank more of it, it went to a positive for me.
Oh, he's gonna go positive. You
Yeah.
didn't have to rate it yet, but you okay? I was just sort of I'm just kind of.
Opening it, I don't know. I found opening it kind of offensive. That it just kind of
Offensive.
exploded because it
I
is
love
very
it.
floral. It's very, very potent and skunky.
Just
and I mentioned earlier that I'm not a huge fan of that odor, but once it kind of dissipates and the carbonation's kind of exploded all that out and it's settled down a bit, it's actually kind of tones down into something a little more palatable.
Gotcha, Dave.
To me, this is the textbook definition of a lager in my head. Like I say, I've probably been drinking. I probably had my first one when I was 15 or 16. So, and I drank an awful lot of this during college and afterwards. And it's only when I came to the US where it was more scarce and more expensive that I really stopped drinking it. So it just reminds me of on those hot summer days in the English pub or the bar, if you ordered something, a Stella was always a good solid choice.
So it does
And
give
that's
you
skunky.
memories.
Yeah, so it gives me memories, but it's just, it's just a really solid beer. I mean, to me, that's exactly what a lager should smell, taste, and feel like. I don't know how else to put it, but that is the.
You don't have to. This is not a question about the beer. This is kind of a side question. Have you ever brewed a lager? Have you ever done a lager?
Yeah, I've done a couple of lagers. I thought you tried them.
I don't remember.
I
don't remember.
I haven't gotten as skunky. I haven't gone as skunky as this, and I've read a little bit, and I think the skunkiness comes to letting it see some of the light, some sunlight, which kind of breaks some stuff down in the beer before it ferments. But when I have brewed some lagers, and I've brewed some ones that have turned out all right, but I find lagers aren't a very wide church, for want of a better description. They do, they are good, but I'd be hard pushed to pick certain ones out of the lineup, if you know what I mean.
Oh, I could do it.
I'm sure you could with your refined palate and good looks.
Aaron, what do you think of this beer?
So it's kind of like what Jared said when you first open it. It's that skunky hit. You're like, oh, hi skunky, how you doing? I haven't seen you in a while since I drink other beers. But after you're drinking the first few sips, like, okay, this is not bad. It's actually pretty good. This isn't the first beer I've ever had, like Dave or probably Jared or anybody really. But honestly, I like it. I every time I ever have it, it's quite tasty, and it's always good to have on a nice hot day. It's cold, it's wet, it's delicious.
Yeah.
And once you get farther down the glass or bottle, it's actually definitely really good because it's like, all right, I could probably have another one of these. And the best part is it doesn't leave that like. I hate to say this about other IPAs because I love IPAs, as you guys know. It doesn't leave that like hit of hoppiness that most IPAs hit because sometimes the taste of an IPA just stays with you for a while. It's like, what the fuck? Go away. I don't want you here anymore. I want to try something else. This actually kind of like stays for the how long it's supposed to and then disappears. And I like that about that.
Cool.
And it's really good.
For me, it's I find this beer incredibly sweet. For my palate, it's like I get the
My mouth
skunkiness.
still feels sweet afterwards.
It's incredibly easy to drink. It's it's of all the beers I drink a lot of beers, obviously, guys, but this one's incredibly refreshing to me. It's sweet. It's easy to, but it's not a sweetness that just like lingers. This is like, oh, it's sweet, and then it kind of, and I can drink. Like, unlike any other beers, I can drink so much of this beer just because of how it's maybe it's just perfectly crafted for my palate. I just feel like I can like drink it nonstop, and which is not a good thing because I can drink a 12-pack in like nothing.
Yeah.
And
I've got two cousins who would happily put away 4 to 8 pints of this stuff on a night. If you let them.
I could definitely see crushing a 12-pack in the evening.
I love drinking this beer when I eat wings, like spicy wings. I find it great because it doesn't compete. Like I drink it, it kind of washes. It's like drinking some water, but not water. And then I can eat more wings, and the flavor of the wings isn't getting affected by the beer taste. I just find it like it's my all-around favorite. Anyway.
Ian's new marketing slogan.
Yeah,
not water.
You've had it with a lot of meals. I mean, you're saying wings are like your favorite thing to drink it with?
No.
Maybe?
I drink. Well, it's on tap at Buffalo, so I'll drink it with wings. But it's great with sushi. It's great with anything. I love it with anything.
Yeah, I've eaten a lot of meals and had a pint of Stella by the side, and it pairs well with a lot.
It just doesn't affect the meal.
It really does, yeah.
It doesn't.
Okay.
Like certain beers will just like, I gotta.
Yeah.
I mean, IPAs in general will kind of affect a meal. I feel, just because of their bitterness and stuff. This beer is just very. It's perfect in my opinion. That's just where I'm at.
When you got some hearts going on for your Stella.
I see a little heart emoji open over there. They're invisible.
All right,
one
thumbs.
of Ian's top 5 beers.
Get the rating going.
Going thumbs. You guys
up. Yeah.
I'll give it to it. At the beginning, as I said, I didn't get it, but it finished up.
I had a hard.
You don't have to.
I have a hard.
You can give it a middle.
No. The flavor of it was great. It was. I just didn't. Opening the bottle was the hard part.
The initial opening's a pain in the ass. It's weird.
It smells good too. Anyway.
Well, opening the bottle is not a big deal. You can just pop your bottle opener on it and then tear the paper off afterwards.
I need to get the game out. The game I picked. This is stupid. You guys are gonna hate me. I'm not picking a video game. I'm picking a board game. I'm picking the game of life. Stella, perfect for the game of life.
First of all, do you still play board games every now and then? I got
board games. I got lots
of
board games.
Wow.
I got life.
I didn't know that.
I actually have board games. Game of life. I'm picking the game of life.
Okay.
Mainly because Dave knows we did an episode of Couch Co-op on video game burnout, and I'm burnt out on video games.
Yeah.
Yep.
I don't get to play enough of them to be burnt out.
What? You play a lot. What? I feel you play a lot. Anyway,
play more than
neither here nor there.
Right.
So that was my choice this week. Next week it goes to Jared. Jared, what are we drinking next week?
Yes.
Newcastle Brown Ale.
Ooh, I never had this one. I've distributed it, but I never had it. So
you've never had it?
I remember liking it back when Ian and I used to go out like 10 years ago is the last time I probably had it. So it's my beer buds have developed a lot and changed drastically since last I had it.
Same.
I haven't drank any of it?
What?
You each gave us one, but you must have had a couple extras.
Yeah.
You didn't drink any
I
of them?
haven't touched it.
Oh,
no.
Wow. Okay.
What? Dang, you got some
No,
self-control
I
there.
haven't touched it. Well, I'll probably drink all my other, 3? Yeah.
Yeah.
Three of them that, next week, so I'm
Yeah.
going to wait. I'll go with my impure tongue towards my new
Well,
brown ale.
Let's not talk about it too much, but
All right.
because that's what's next week. Cool.
Yes.
I guess that's it, huh? Yeah. You got to get out of here.
Yeah.
I want to thank Jared, Dave, and Aaron for joining me here on the Couch Co-op.
Yeah.
Anytime.
Yes.
All one word, no hyphen. Yeah.
I want to remind you. You can hit us up on Twitter. Couch_hop. It's a stupid one. And I get you, but hey, leave us some feedback, and or go to anchor.fm/thecouchcohop, all one word, no hyphen, and you can leave a message. You can leave messages. You can leave recorded messages for us, and then we can play them back. It's one of the coolest features. It's one of the coolest features of a podcast platform. The fact that you can actually go to the website, hit record, and leave a voicemail. And
tell us how stupid our show is. That'd be great.
Yeah.
Anything.
Yes, please.
Just, throw it at us.
Or if you think our fucking show is awesome, you can actually donate money to us. And if you donate money to us, make sure you message us with a beer, and we will instantly do your beer as a beer for the week. Instead of, we'll skip one of these guys.
Hopefully, if we can find it. But
hopefully we can find it. If we can't find
it, easy to reach.
We'll use your money on hookers and blow and tell you to fuck off. No, just kidding.
No.
We'll
find a way.
Let's try and be lovingly understanding of the beer you pick. It should probably be a beer you can maybe do some research. Don't you? I don't know. No one. Who cares? What does it matter?
Make it easy access. That's all we want. Not too easy. Just something that's we all can get at without having to break our arms and legs just getting it.
And someday, maybe. I mean, you know what's funny? We're like professional podcasters. We've had a professional video game podcast for years. We had an opening and a close and music and all this stuff. And now we're just out here in the Wild West, not giving a fuck.
We used to research and
I'm sure some people will be like, why don't they have any music? Hey, maybe we will never get music.
Or submit your own. We'll
submit your own songs. Hey, that's a good idea.
Why
Jared.
not?
Have them. Hey, you motherfuckers out there, record a song on our messaging on anchor.fm/thecouchcohop show. Leave in a message. Record a song, and we'll play your song
that would be so
in
fun.
the opening. As long as it's not a perverted and awful and gross.
Right. Yeah.
Cool. I mean, I'm not gonna play something offensive.
I'm all for that. Yeah, please.
Yeah, do something silly.
Yep.
It'd be awesome if everyone just started doing it and we just could have different songs every episode.
Heck yeah.
We'll see.
That would be great.
Anyway, boys, let's
To
get
the
out of
future.
here. Yeah, let's get out of here.
All
I love
right.
you guys. It's been good drinking beers with you.
Yep.
Goodbye.
Good
Bye.
night.
Cheers with some beers for my peers.
Drink responsibly. And
That
if you're
one.
Unless you're home, then get messed up.
And if you're gonna drive, get a designated driver.
Yeah, don't be like Dave and drink underage, I guess.
Yep.
Well, I drink underage.
Well, next week's choice is another underage tipple that I used to enjoy. So.
Oh goodness.
Good night.
Good night.
Bye bye.
All right.